Get to the first game, and that's called, of course, tomorrow night. As recording Wednesday night, of course. We have a pretty big game here, actually. The Seattle Seahawks heading to Dallas to face the Cowboys. The Cowboys are 9.5-point favorites. The over/under is 47. So Seattle's kind of a little slump right now. You know,
They did let me down a little bit last week. I had a little hope for them against San Fran, but I guess maybe it was a 1 year fluke with Geno Smith.
I guess it
He's
was
just average.
Yeah, it would surprise me that I don't think they'll have the draft position to get a great a top quarterback, but it wouldn't surprise me if
they
they.
will.
I think they'll still go after a quarterback if possible. I don't think Geno's long-term solution, honestly, and this is what I feared actually. At the end of last year, and look, the contract they have with him is not a bad contract. It's only a 3-year deal. You know, I'm not sure where the opt-out clause is on that. After is it fully guaranteed 3 years? After 1-2 years and get out of the contract? I don't know. But Geno isn't the answer long term. He is a good stopgap to have. He got paid for what he did last year. Honestly, so the Cowboys in the meantime, this is the stretch of games now where look they feast on really bad teams, including yours, and mine. I mean, remember they beat my team 8-9-17 in 2 games. So, but this is where the Cowboys we're going to know more about the Cowboys in these next couple of weeks because they play Seattle this week. They play Detroit a couple of weeks after that. Eagles again. So they got a nice little tough schedule coming up in the weeks to come. That being said, Dallas wins this game, and they will win comfortably, I think. But 9.5 points, a lot of points. Short week too, especially. I'm going to take Seattle the points here as a late cover. Give me Seattle the points here. What you got?
I want to do the exact same. I really do, because I don't want to believe it was a 1-year fluke. I love the offensive weapons they have there in Seattle, and I also kind of always expect Dallas to screw up. But I feel more confident in an over in the game overall.
Over. Interesting. Yeah. Interesting. All right. Next game here, we have the Indianapolis Colts heading to Tennessee to face the Titans. The Colts, who right now in the playoffs order today, they beat the playoffs at 7 seed. They are 1-point favorites. The over under 43 points. Man, who would have thought the Colts, even without Anthony Richardson, would still be in this spot? This is actually, we're talking about coach of the year candidates. I mean, Steichen has to be in the conversation now at this point.
Well, here's the question: could you imagine the Colts being in this position if Anthony Richardson was playing every game and playing every snap of every game?
I would imagine it even before, whether or not he was there or not. But you're saying that he might have hurt them more by being there because he's a rookie and make mistakes and all that, cost him a couple of games.
Absolutely.
I think that's credit to Gardner Minshew.
He had the most raw talent.
Mm-hmm.
I think he played 13 total games in his entire collegiate career.
Mm-hmm.
So, and when he was doing that, he completed barely 50% of his passes.
Right.
What he had was all the talent. Whereas now you have Gardner Minshew. He's been around the block, 3-4 years on 3-4 different teams. He's got a little experience. He knows how to read a defense by now.
True. Good point.
And he was pretty good that rookie season. Even though the Jags sucked overall, he was pretty good.
So you like this game?
I like Gardner Minshew, buddy.
You going Indy?
Hell yeah. He's driving on the school bus with the victory.
I do like Indy, but I feel like the safer bet's the over. Where's the safer bet?
Maybe. What was the number?
43. It's low enough to at least get you to
24-20.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I can see that situation. AFC South, one of those things. It's in Tennessee too. Also, this has a trappish game to it, a little bit, feel to it. Because this is Mike Vrabel-led team. Mike Vrabel teams do play hard, even though they suck. So I'm going to go over this one, though. All right, next one. We have the LA Chargers heading to New England to face the Patriots. The Chargers are 6-point favorites. The over-under is 40.5. So, TikTok time for one Brandon Staley, because he'll be done after this year, you would think. I mean, this is this is bad. And
Yeah,
this is what,
there's no money to worry about at this point, so I really can't believe he's surviving now.
mm-hmm,
Wouldn't you fire him just with the hope of turning around the season in time to make the playoffs?
mm-hmm. Waste of time of Herbert's career right now. Wasting of Herbert's career. Really, honestly. But this is the one team in the AFC wildcard spot that if they ran off like 5 next 6 games and get back in the playoff race, wouldn't surprise me because of Herbert and their talent. But I'll take the Chargers here. Cover 6 points. Pats packed it in. They're done. Pats are packed it in. This team is
Oh,
done.
heck yeah. They're trying to tank so hard to get the number 1 pick. They don't want to risk anyone trading in front of them, a la the Jets, a division rival who sees the writing on the wall now. But yeah, I'm right there with you.
Go on Chargers.
Absolutely. My
Yeah.
only thought is I'm starting to get the feel of a whole repeat of 15 years of Phillip Rivers there. Like, great arm talent, great quarterback, just can't win. There's always little things that end up costing them game after game.
Mm-hmm. All right. Next one, we have the Detroit Lions heading to New Orleans to face the Saints. The Lions 4-point favorites. The over under 46.5. That was a disappointing loss last week against Green Bay. Look, I had Green Bay on the points on our picks, so it didn't surprise me that Green Bay being in that game. But the fact that Green Bay controlled that game from start to finish.
Yes. I never would have expected that. I mean,
and Kawhi has kept it back in the playoff race now. The only game behind Minnesota.
Jordan Love's also trying to save his career.
He's playing well. Great, best game of his career last week by far. And on that, and I'll tell you what, I think they play Minnesota twice the next couple weeks too. Also, but anyway, that's Green Bay. We'll talk about them later. The New Orleans. Look, this AFC South is like a race to the bottom. You have Atlanta is right now tied. It's technically the leading right now, but a tie with the Saints at 5-6. It's like whatever. But the Saints have all these games. They're a weird team. Like they'll have they have that game like I had last week against Atlanta, shit the bed, and then when you write them off, they'll bounce back and shock you. I can see winning this game, but I ain't doing that. I'm betting you over in this one.
Ooh. And the one thing I still feel like if the Saints are going to be competitive in a game is their defense is going to show up. So I like the under.
Oh, we're going opposite.
Yes.
Well, we shall see. Saints they've had some games this year where they scored 30 plus.
Yes. No. They look good at times, but maybe I'm living in the past.
Yeah, I think you're still thinking Derek Carr is Drew Brees, I guess, right? All right, next one. We have the Atlanta Falcons heading to New York to face the Jets. The first place Falcons in the South are 2.5-point favorites. The over-under is 34. Did you hear news about Aaron Rodgers? He's been cleared to practice.
Then you know what? I call bullshit on there being an Achilles tear.
Oh, you think it's fake?
If he's cleared for action as an NFL quarterback for dropbacks that quickly, I call bullshit.
Who you liking this one?
I like the Jets.
You know what? I do too.
I feel like the defense will have a chance at winning this game to begin with. So
I do too, but I'm going to take the under in this game, even at 34. Atlanta can barely score. The Jets, Tim Boyles, like come on,
field goals.
Yeah, give me a 17-13, something like that. That's good enough for me. That gets me under. So I like the under this one. All right, next one. The Arizona Cardinals send the Pittsburgh face the Steelers. Steelers 5.5-point favorites, over under 41 points. How are the Steelers 7-3? How?
Absolute freaking luck. Teams never put them away early. they can't move the football for an entire half most of the time, and yet nobody puts them away because they've got the best player in the last 4 to 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
and TJ Watt.
I mean, again, you're talking about coach of the year candidates. Mike Tomlin's got to be in the conversation right now.
You mean Mike Epps?
Mike Epps, whatever. Yeah. I mean, and the thing is, the 7-3, right now the 5 seed, and this is the thing also too. They're the 5 seed, which I actually predicted they'll be before the year started, but it's the way they're doing it. It's kind of shocking.
Yeah,
And
quarterback play sucks.
I'm gonna bring up if you look at the screen right now, I'm gonna bring up the schedule in a second. Give you one quick second. There it goes, right there. Here's their schedule right now. The next 6 games to close out the year. I don't know if you can see that. But they play obviously Arizona, as we're talking about now. The Patriots next week. The Colts on the road. The Bengals without Joe Burrow. And then the Seahawks, who may need that game. And then the Ravens, which that game might not even matter. So they may fall into 11 wins this year.
Well, I actually think that last game of the season might matter for who wins the division, the way it's running right now. So, but yeah, I mean, the stars are aligning for another, what, maybe 11, 12-5 Steelers team, even 11-6. And then know what happens? They lose first round.
Yeah, but I don't think enough to win more than if they even win a wild card game. That'd be amazing. I think I had them winning 11 games when you started, but it's the way they're getting there because Pickett hasn't been good, and that was with Matt Canada sticking up the joint. Now he's gone now, and go figure. Last week was the first game over 400 yards in what 2 years?
Yeah, that. But you know what? A lot of times that happens when a bunch of players finally get that pressure off because of one coach. They come out and shine. Now, what happens this coming week? That's different.
Anyway, I got picked to cover this game. They're at home. Defense will stymie Colin Murray. So give me Pittsburgh 5.5 points.
Yeah, give me Pittsburgh's defense for a couple turnovers, even.
Yeah,
I'll take Pittsburgh.
Yeah. All right, it's your game. The Miami Dolphins heading to Washington face the Commanders. Dolphins 9.5 point favorites over under 49.5. So Dolphins 8-3. Commanders quit. They've quit also too. That's another team that's quit.
Not on offense.
Yeah, Sam Howell's. Look, I think he's the only guy at this point now that's going to be guaranteed back to this team next year. The way he's playing.
Yeah. I mean, the front office has to realize if you're the GM, you're gone. The head coach, you're gone. I would be willing to bet we trade Scary Terry even during the offseason for a draft pick.
McLaren?
Yeah.
Yeah, might as well.
If you could get a second rounder, I think that might be a steal.
This is the one team in the NFL I think that's going to be ripe. Not just because how mediocre they've been for years and now they're just falling apart now, but because of the new ownership group and Josh Harris and Marion Johnson being the face of that ownership group, they already have a desire to clean house anyway. You're going to see a complete overhaul of this franchise now. Because remember, they took over the team pretty late in the proceedings where, like, I think in July, August, they took over the ownership. So they couldn't even do anything. They couldn't even impact free agency or, or the draft because they weren't there. Now, with this team being around now, it's ripe for a massive overhaul. And they're going to do it.
I agree.
Right.
And I believe Eric Bieniemy is going to become the head coach, personally.
Right. I mean, yeah, I think so too. Also, I call that fucking before you even started. So, give me Miami cover this game.
I would love. Screw it. I'm gonna be a homer and take the over.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm not gonna be a guy who just picks the opponent to beat the crap out of me. I'm just gonna take the over.
So, but you'll see a lot of scoring there. A little Tyreek Hill MVP conversations continue. Speaking of Tyreek Hill, did you hear his comments today? Or what was it? I think it was yesterday.
No. What were they?
I'm gonna play a clip what he said about the Super Bowl chances, and he compared this team to the Chiefs team that he won a Super Bowl with a couple years ago. Listen to the clip.
Tyreek, do you think you can go all the way?
All the way to the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Of course, man. We got the perfect team to do it. I won a Super Bowl, and I feel like this is probably the better team than when we won a Super Bowl back when I was on KC.
Look, really, Tyreek? Come on. You only have the greatest quarterback of all time, probably arguably the greatest quarterback of all time on your roster. You only got the greatest tight ends of all time on your roster. Like, really? Like, I get like one of probably 2-1 company, and I get that, but come on, man.
Do you remember how close that first Super Bowl was for him?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is a guy who's pretty confident in the offense right now.
Mm-hmm.
And they do look better on defense than the Chiefs did that first go round.
And
I could understand that feeling.
Right.
You know, he's talking about how he felt in the moment, not looking back on one player.
I will say this much though. Remember when he first got to Miami? He was like, Tua is just as good as Mahomes. He feels good. The chemistry to him and Tua, and we all laughed at him saying, "What the fuck are you talking about? It's Mahomes." But then he's doing what he's doing the last 2 years.
Yeah, he was right about their chemistry.
He's not wrong about that. I mean, the fact that he's like, okay, first off, if I had a vote right now through 13 weeks, or 12 weeks rather, my MVP is Tyreek Hill. So the fact I'm saying that should tell you how I feel about that. So he wasn't wrong about that. But at the same time, you're talking about Pat Mahomes, who's arguably the greatest quarterback of all time. Like, what are we doing here? Like, come on. Y'all haven't even beaten a good team yet either. On top of that, and look, I'm a Dolphins fan. I want them to do well. I want them to win a Super Bowl this year. But the levels of this shit, man. Come on. So, anyway, next game here. Denver Broncos and Houston face the Texans. Huge game here. Huge game. Texans 3.5-point favorites. Over under 47 points. Texans almost did it last week. They almost did it.
Almost. Oh my God. Do you know the shit I would be talking today?
Oh, to me? About my
Just
goat?
in general about, Jacksonville and the Texans and CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
But,
oh, boy. Well, right now, Houston is currently not in the playoff right now. No, I'm sorry. Maybe they are in the playoff right now. I got to check that to make sure.
I don't think so right now.
I think both teams are out right now. I think it's Cleveland. It's still Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and Indy right now currently. But this is a huge game because both teams are right behind the 7 seed. Nuggets. I'm in basketball mode. The Broncos, red hot right now. Red hot. But 4 of the last 5 games were at home. Let's see if they can translate this on the road now. That's what I want to see. I'm a scared little bitch, so I'm gonna take the under in this game.
I want to say a lot. First, can Sean McVay take a little bit of a shot at the Jets again? Was that not a fluke win now? The way in which the Broncos have been playing of late, I mean, that looks like an absolute fluke. But then I still have all the hope in the world for CJ Stroud. And I feel like being just outside takes a little pressure off and they can shine a little better.
So you taking Houston?
Of course I'm taking Houston, buddy. They're my Cinderella this year, and I want to start to ride them.
Dude, I mean, they're story of the year right now, man. And by the way, Denver, talking about the fluke games. If they miss the playoffs by a single game or by a tiebreaker, there are literally 3 losses this year they could look at. What the fuck did we do? Opening against the Raiders by 1 point. Week 2 against you guys, your Commanders, blowing that lead. And then the Jet game you just mentioned.
Yes, but Houston has one game they can look back at and go, everybody else in the NFL beat the living crap out of this team, and we lost to them. And that was when they lost to the Panthers. And I want to bring up something about that now. Did you see the interview with David Tepper? discussing the draft pick and the firing of Frank Wright?
No, I didn't see the interview post mortem of Frank Reich's career in Carolina.
Oh, I'm gonna have to look for the link and send it to you. But he was kind of throwing his scouts under the bus, while also throwing the coach under the bus, because he's like, he's a professional and he was good, and these are professional scouts and they know what they're doing, and so we were going on the right path and everything seemed like it's the right path, and maybe it wasn't the right path, but we chose this path and we had to go on this path. So it made it sound like Frank Wright was the only person who did not want to draft Bryce Young. And because they drafted Bryce Young, he was not coaching him the way he should have been.
I'm looking up the article now. Yeah, I don't see anything here out of step here.
It doesn't come off out of step, but when you watch the video, it's a whole different take.
Oof. He's a meddler, dude.
Oh, absolutely.
7 coaches in 7 years, 6 years, what it was?
I think 6.
Pathetic. Yeah, that's pathetic.
The amount of money for just the last 2 coaches now.
He must be pretty money. I mean, I know the guy's worth $20 billion, but still, damn, dude.
Yeah.
Like, for real.
He's probably made $4 billion this year.
Speaking of Carolina, though, they play Tampa Bay this weekend. They're 5.5 point dogs. Bucks 5.5 point favorites, over under 37 points. Just come on. Under. I'll take under this game.
Yeah, and I'm going to just take Tampa Bay. I think they're going to feel like they still have a chance to play for something.
Well, only game back in the playoff, right? For the division, so yeah.
Yeah.
So that's easy. All right, next one here. This is actually a sneaky big game. The Cleveland Browns send to LA face the Rams. Rams 3.5 point favorites, over under 40 points. Man, Cleveland, if they miss the playoffs, because the quarterback issues, because their defense is carrying this fucking team.
Oh, absolutely.
Myles Garrett should get at least an MVP consideration. I'm not going to win it, but he should get some consideration.
Well, he might get 1 or 2 votes for top 5.
He's definitely defensive player of the year right now.
I don't know about that now.
Maybe Bland in Dallas.
Well, I mean, how can you not look at TJ Watt again?
Oh yeah, I'll say him and TJ Watt, but 1 and 2.
Because you look at how bad Kenny Pickett has been all season, and you wonder how they're 8-3,
7-3,
7-3. See,
who's been worse though? Kenny Pickett, or Deshaun Watson, or the Curacao Browns quarterbacks? Who's been worse?
They each only had 1 good game this season.
Yeah,
but at least Pickett was there. So
I'm taking the over. The Rams are sneaking back in this playoff race again now. A game behind Minnesota also. It's a huge game, both teams. Give me the Rams. I'll give you over in this game, actually.
Give me the under in this game. I wanted to take the Browns, and I would have taken the Browns outright, but I actually like the under more.
Okay. All right, 3 more games. To me, this is game of the year. The Niners and the Philadelphia face the Eagles. Niners 3-point favorites, over under 47.5. Zach, how shocked are you that the Niners are 3-point favorites on the road?
Oh, I'm completely lost. I don't understand the disrespect. You have one team who they have not played a complete game all season, and what are they, 10-1?
Yep.
That should not be happening.
Watch me this week. They played a complete game.
Oh, they're good. If they play a complete game, ooh, that would be very scary.
Yeah. I thought it'd be a pick 'em at best. That I can understand, but a 3-point favorite. What you're telling me is that San Fran is really a 6-point favorite in this game because they're the road team here. Because typically the home team gets a 3-point nudge. This is a 6-point swing here, and I think San Fran still wins the game because they're full strength right now. But I'm taking the over in this game.
Yeah. when I see this game, I think this is one of the last ditch efforts for an MVP chance. So I'm gonna take Philly.
Mhm.
I'll take Philly to win. I would take Philly to win outright. So I'll take 3.5 plus.
Yeah, the gauntlet. If they win this game, you realize the gauntlet they've gone through the last 3 weeks of KC, Buffalo, who's still a decent team, 6-6, and now San Francisco. Just saying, this is pretty impressive. And I hate the Eagles for the record. All right, Sunday football. Kansas City Chiefs heading to Green Bay for the Packers. Chiefs 6-point favorites over under 42.5. A big game for the Packers here. Big game here because again they're another team a game behind the wild card. All of a sudden playing good football. Jordan Love feeling himself a little bit. KC looks vulnerable, but at the same time they're also changing who they are. They're really a more defensive team that can score when they want to. If receivers have to catch the ball, I can't take KC to cover this game because I don't know what Green Bay team shows up. So my best bet here is taking the over. What you got?
Ernest.
Yes,
We have discussed this all season.
Yeah.
Kansas City does not cover a single goddamn game.
That's why I'm taking. That's why I'm doing that.
Over, not on the over. You know what I'm taking? I'm taking Kansas City to win. I think they win big. Actually,
really,
this is my mortgage bet. I have not.
Whoa, really?
In weeks.
Yeah, I know why.
I love this game.
Wow, that's a big bet there, buddy. Mortgage bet. Okay. And finally, Monday Night Football. This would have been a huge game, but Joe Burrow's out for the year. The Bengals, Joe Burrow go to Jacksonville, face the Jaguars. The Jags are 8.5-point favorites. The over under 38 points. Quite as kept though. Browning, the backup, it looked okay. He's looked okay.
Yeah, he's gonna look okay again because he's gonna be playing against Sunshine.
Jags defense is good though.
Yeah, thank God it is.
Yeah.
They would not be in the playoffs right now if it's not for that defense.
Yeah. I'm taking a slight over on this one though. Because I think Browning can move the ball enough to make this a semi-competitive game. There's enough weapons in that team that. Because look, he played well against the Steelers defense last week. Arguably best defense in football. You know what I mean? Tell me he can at least put up 20-something points on the board against the Jaguars defense. I mean, why couldn't he?
I got one question.
Go ahead.
Is Jamar Chase playing?
Is he hurt?
I'm asking you.
I think he's still playing. Let me make sure. I look it up real quick. In the meantime, what you got in this game? I got the over.
This is deciding my pick right here.
Okay. Let's look it up right now. Jamar Chase. Let's see. Jamar Chase is. There's no news on him being hurt.
Excellent. If Jamar Chase plays, I'm taking the Bengals, baby. Give me the points. As long as that man is on the field, the Bengals have a chance.
Yeah, he's there's no. Yeah, he's cleared. No, this is old. Yeah, but there's no injury update here on him. No,
yeah, that was
fine.
my point. As long as he's healthy, we're good.
These are all weeks ago. So yeah, give me I like the over. You like the Bengals?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I believe this is the last bye of the year, bye week of the year. And they got 6 teams. By the way, why the hell did NFL put buys this late in the year? Especially with fantasy football being close to playoff time too. Really, really strange. Ravens, Bills, Bears, Raiders, Vikings, and Giants all on buys this week. Of these 6 teams, Zachary, who needs to buy the most?
I'm gonna say the Ravens.
Ooh, interesting. Why?
They're just always injured. They need some health. They always need time to rehab. And to have a week this late into the season when you're trying to gun for the 1 seed, I think it's important.
I'm gonna go with a tie here. I think both the Bills and the Vikings need it bad. The Bills need a reset. Kind of, they almost won that game against Philadelphia. That's a heartbreaking loss last week. And to me, they're the best team of the wild card teams outside on the outside looking in when they decide to play well. and be focused, the biggest upside. And their schedule's still pretty tough. I mean, they still got to play Kansas City after next week. So, but the Vikings too. Also, I mean, remember a couple weeks ago, Josh Dobbs. Oh my God, great kid, obviously, but then lose 2 in a row, and then the way they lost to Chicago on Monday Night Football, they need a reset.
Hey, I look at it as a team that got hot for a short amount of time, and it's fallen back to where they were.
Well, they were 0-3. Then it went to 7. Was it 6-4? What it was? 6-3, whatever the hell it was. And then, yeah, too bad. Okay,